All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Today is going to be about spray foaming in your post frame home or building. Before we get started, if you want to design your own post frame home or building, you can reach out to us, Design at Mr. Post Frame. We can help you out with that. Also, we have a self-build group and Patreon. We talk about different self-building topics every month. So check out our Patreon. It's great to be a part of a community of other self-builders. So if you're interested in that, we'll leave a link right in the screen. But let's go ahead and jump in today's show, which is going to be about spray foam, how to prepare your structure, what to look for, all that kind of stuff. Let's get going. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We have all of the metal up on the Mad County standard here that you've been following along on. And so the next step is spray foam. So I'm gonna go through how we prepare our post frame structure for spray foam. I've said this in all my videos that I'm not going to tell you guys what you need to do. I'm just going to explain to you what we do and explain to you why we do it. And I found this works really well for us. So we've got this all enclosed. If you can see on this one, we do have sheathing on the roof, but we do not on the walls. We just have house wrap, and then we have our metal steel. And if you're asking yourself, why do you not have to have plywood? It's because we get our shear strength in a post frame from our steel. So first, for those of you who don't really understand post frame, I'll quickly go through and kind of, since all the structure is kind of exposed right now, explain to you how it works. So, like on a typical stick frame house, you're going to have 2x6s, 16 on center. You have to have a continuous footing. You have a bottom plate, top plates. This is a two-story, so in order to frame up a stick frame house, you would have to frame up all your exterior lower walls, then your floor system, then all of your upstairs walls before you can enclose it. So it leaves your structure exposed longer than it does with a post frame. That's one huge benefit of a post frame, is you can get the entire structure done and then do all the inside stuff. So that is one bonus of a post frame. But how the structure in a post frame works is, you can see we have columns. In this building, they're 8 foot on center. And then we have wall girts, 2x6 in this case, that run from column to column, tying them all together. So if you look at this window doesn't have to have a header. You actually make a window box, screw it in through your girts, and then the weight of that window is transferred out to your column and down to your footing, and that's how it transfers the weight. So these columns and walls only support the weight of the walls and the roof. So there's no interior walls required to support this structure. And despite what people say, these are incredibly strong. This column, in this case, is a 4-ply, and it runs from your footing all the way up and attaches to your truss. So your truss sits inside that column in this post frame, and that creates a really strong structure. And all these are now tied together, so none of these can move independently of each other. So now that we're ready for spray foam, we will come in here. Obviously, we have our underground plumbing, underground electrical, our concrete in. We will come in here, and if you watched on previous videos, we have a vapor barrier under our concrete, 2 inches of polystyrene, and then we run 2-inch polystyrene down into the ground, 2 feet here. Depending on where you are in the country, that depends on how far you have to run it down. There's all kinds of science behind this. Frost protecting your underneath your slab. This has in-floor heat, but here this works really well for us to go down 2 feet, 2 inches of polystyrene underneath. The vapor barrier we bring up, and then after we get the concrete poured, we cut it off. So it actually comes up, it's underneath the bottom polystyrene, and then it comes up along here. We tack it up. You can see the staples where we had it wrapped over and stapled. And then after the concrete gets poured, we cut it off here. And then we put our bottom grade board on, which is a green treated 2x4. That's our interior bottom girt. So the way we frame this on the inside is 2x4s, 2 foot on center all the way up. And so now the spray foam guy can come in here and he'll fill this bottom cavity with spray foam. So that attaches the concrete to our insulation that goes down below, and it comes up and fills all this, and then it goes all the way up the side, filling in behind the columns. So this gives you almost 100% thermal break. Obviously you have your girts here that will, there won't be a thermal break. I mean, there is some R value in wood, but pretty much everywhere else, it'll be pretty much a wall of closed cell spray foam. And then up at top, we put our top girt on and we cap it off with plywood. And so he will fill that cavity as well. So that isolates your wall from your attic space if you're doing an unheated attic space. So this is gonna have blown in fiberglass. So it's got vented soffit, vented ridge. And so we will isolate the walls from that attic space by filling that with spray foam. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll try to get some video as he sprays. We use 3 inches of closed cell spray foam. At 2 inches, most manufacturers of spray foam at 2 inches, it's your vapor barrier, all that kind of good stuff. So we'd spray 3 inches. That gives us roughly an R21, which is required in the residential building code here. It provides a lot of structural value. So closed cell spray foam is hard. So it's closed cell. So when you put that in between all those columns, it does add structural value at 3 inches. All right guys, so here's the inside of the spray foam truck. This is an IDI trailer setup. So we got his hose here. That's what controls all your mixtures and stuff like that. It's got his part A and part B back here. So this is a nice little setup here. The generator and all that stuff is behind this wall. So there's another door in the back and we can access all that. But when it's winter, they have winter foam, but it has to be, they have to get that foam up to a certain temperature before they can start spraying. So that can take some time in the winter. So it's really warm in here right now. Our guy usually keeps his trailer inside, so it keeps the foam at a regularly warm temperature. Then when he gets to the job site, it doesn't take as long to get it all warmed up. So you can see his hoses are hooked up here. We'll come over here, and then we unroll all that and take it inside. Last night, they got the whole garage done. So it looks really nice. Truck rolling down. This is 3 inches. You can see you can't see the girts. Can't see him behind the columns. He's got that all sealed up. So this is what a good spray foam job should look like. So then if we go in here, and as he's spraying this, we'll get some footage for you. He'll start up top first, do all the upper, and then he'll work on the bottom. question we get a lot of is why do we do the spray foam before plumbing and wiring? And with interior and exterior groups, you have an 8.5-inch wall cavity. So you can see 3-inch PVC pipe fits behind there just fine. I just stick them in there so then I can run it up through for my drainage, and then for wiring, just take a 3.5-inch piece of wood or 2x4, stick it in there. You can nail your wire to that all in here. And then when you go around your columns, you just have to put a 2x4 here and then put a nail plate. But this is a nice way to do it because then you can do all your plumbing and electrical after. So to give you guys a rough estimate, you saw the price on the screen. It's $1.50 a square foot per inch here. So we always do 3 inches. So that'd be $4.50 a square foot. It's easy math. If you want to figure it out for your structure, you always subtract your window square footage, your door square footage, because obviously they're not putting spray foam there. But as always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and we will catch you on the next video.